Hello and welcome back to another video from the Owl. This time I've reworked an older video because I managed to gain access to the Church of All Saints. So this is the tale of the Deepdale and the baker again. It has to be said that much of this is folklore and versions will differ dependent upon which specific version you come across. But as closely as I can ascertain, this is probably neither closer nor further from the truth than any other. The valley was originally known as the Deepdale. Its historical significance started to formulate in about 1130 AD. About this time, supposedly a baker from the nearby town of Derby apparently had a vision of the Blessed Virgin Mary, who told him that what she wanted more than almost anything else was for him to go to the Deepdale, live in a cave and dedicate his life to praising the Lord God and serving her and her son in a solitary life. More of this later on. Bet you can hardly wait. Roll forwards about 20 years and a whole bunch of Augustinian monks arrive in the area. But it was about 70 years after that, about 1204, that Premonstratensian canons founded the Abbey of St Mary. This proved to be a good move, as at one time the Abbey owned and managed 24,000 acres of land in Derbyshire, Leicestershire and Nottinghamshire, a level of affluence which fluctuated from time to time, but which more or less continued until its dissolution in October of 1538. Now, a massive abbey left empty and deteriorating is a superb source of stone for building, and the people in the immediate area are only as pious as they feel they need to be. So bit by bit, the abbey disappeared almost totally, until today all we have left is a few mainly battered remains, chief amongst which is the 13th century arch of the east window, an impressive sight even now. So, all good hermits require a church in which to worship. It's obligatory, and our hermit was no exception. The church which he is believed to have built was incorporated into the Abbey's infirmary and was dedicated to Jesus Christ and all the saints, All Saints Church. The stonework by the hymn board is believed to be a part of the original construction. Luckily, restoration work has recently completed and I was allowed to have a look around. Tucked away at the end of the village of Dale Abbey, isolated from the hustle and bustle of the modern world, lies All Saints Church, a very small church with its own atmosphere. Tiny is the only word to describe it, being 25 feet by 26 feet. Very picturesque, and the only semi-detached church that I personally have ever come across. Said to be one of the very few extant parts of the original Abbey, it was originally the chapel attached to the Abbey's infirmary. The infirmary is now the private home attached to the church, which was once a pub, the Bluebell Inn, and also a farmhouse. There's even a 13th century wall painting surviving inside, and the rather higgledy-piggledy interior includes items from the 17th century. When the infirmary was still in use, the sick would attend services by way of the outside staircase and participate from the upper gallery. Cue Rambo again. The Hermitage, remember that? Is sited on a steep embankment, and I can seriously attest to it being a steep embankment. Inappropriately enough, hermits would, and so to the previously mentioned hermit. Although there is some confusion about whether or not his name is known, or even if there was actually a religious side to his existence, generally he is referred to as Cornelius, although this appears to be a reference to a character in the Bible, Cornelius the centurion, who was referenced by the canon at Dale, a certain Matilda de Salicosa Mara of Lindsay, when she told the story of the baker. So, armed with his apparent fervour and the promise of eternal happiness, he went to find the Deepdale, which was obviously, but for some unexplained reason, God's chosen location in the entire world. As he wended his weary way towards the unknown location, he, purely by chance, as often happens in these tales, overheard a woman telling her daughter to take a herd of calves to the Deepdale. Taking this monumental turn of serendipity in the spirit in which he fervently believed that it had been delivered to him, he followed the young lady, as one would, to the place which was his ultimate destination. One day, as so often happens in the legends from this period, Ralph Fitzgerald, the local lord, was out riding when he came across our hermit. He was so impressed by him that he awarded him a tithe of his mill's proceeds, as one does under these circumstances. However, in his declining years, the hermit suffered all the torments of Satan and was oft visited by demons. So, in an effort to rid himself of these unfortunate visitations, he moved to the valley below and built himself a hut and an oratory where he lived until his death. One hopes, happily ever after. Well, that's all from the owl for this time. Please feel free to look at my other videos. If you have any ideas for future projects, then I would love to hear them. I'm always looking around for subjects. If you enjoyed this, or indeed any of the others, then please like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. That way you'll be sure not to miss any of the new ones. Hopefully, I'll see you here next time. Until then, have fun and stay safe.